Her promised son, the miracle child God gave her, suddenly died in her arms. But instead of mourning, this woman did something unbelievable. In the town of Shunem lived a kind and generous woman. One day she noticed a man of God passing by the road near her home. It was Elisha, the prophet of the Lord. Again and again she saw him traveling through the town. Each time he passed by, she recognized something special about him. She knew he was a servant of God. So one day she invited the prophet into her house. She welcomed him warmly and prepared a meal for him to eat. From that day forward, whenever Elisha passed through Shunem, he would stop there. The woman and her husband always showed kindness and hospitality. They gladly opened their home to the prophet whenever he traveled through the town. One evening she spoke to her husband with an idea that came from her heart. She said, "I know this man who often passes by is a holy man of God. Let us build a small room for him on the roof of our house." So they built a special room just for Elisha. They placed a bed, a table, a chair, and a lamp there so he could rest whenever he visited. Whenever Elisha came to Shunem, he stayed in that small room. He saw the kindness of the woman and her husband. One day, Elisha asked his servant Gehazi, "What can we do to show our gratitude to this woman?" Gehazi answered, "She has no son, and her husband is old." So Elisha called the woman and gave her a promise from God. He said, "By this time next year, you will hold a son in your arms." The child grew up strong and joyful, bringing happiness to his parents every day. But one day, tragedy suddenly struck. The boy went out to the fields with his father and the harvest workers. Suddenly, the child cried out in pain, "My head, my head!" He was carried back home to his mother, and before the day was over, the child died in her arms. But instead of losing hope, the woman placed the boy on the prophet's bed and hurried to find Elisha. Without losing hope, the woman saddled a donkey and hurried across the hills to find the prophet Elisha. When she finally reached the man of God, she fell before him, overwhelmed with grief and pain. With tears, she cried out, "My Lord, did I ask you for a son? Did I not say, 'Do not deceive me'?" Elisha quickly went to the house, entered the room, shut the door, and prayed earnestly to the Lord. Then the child suddenly moved and came back to life. The woman received her son again, because nothing is impossible for God.